Okay, this is going to be the little mini version that we do. I'm going to do for a doll to show you how to cut it out. And then we're going to sew it on a full size one. Okay? You know, when you make a circle skirt, you take your fabric, you fold it once, you fold it twice, and we want the single fold. You have a single fold on this side and you have a double fold here. 1, 2. Okay, you want the single fold to be here. This is going to be the body, and then the double fold is going to be the sleeve. Now I said that the measurement was 16 inches, so pretend like this is full size. It's kind of down to scale, not exactly to scale. So which means we're going to mark out 16 inches all the way around here. Well, actually 17, because we need to add 1 inch seam allowance. Yeah. So 17 inches all the way around here. Whatever you do, whatever your shoulder to waist measurement is, that's what your circle is going to be. Then we're going to just cut it out like you would normally do a circle skirt. And there we go. Now you have your circle skirt. Now remember, this long part here is the body. The 2 folds are the sleeves. 1, 2. And we're measuring 1/4 of the hip measurement from here to here. And I think Bombi's waist would be around there. And we're going to measure for the sleeves 1/2 of the sleeve measurement from here to here. And we're going to measure up from here, from the hip to underarm measurement, which is about right there. We're going to connect, I'm sorry. And then we're also going to do the chest measurement, 1/4 of the chest measurement right here. Our chest measurement was, the 1/4 of our chest measurement was 6.25. So actually we're going to move this dot over to here, and then we're going to connect the dots. You see that? Connect the dots. It's that simple. So this part right here is the part we're going to cut away. Here will be our neckline. We're going to cut this through all 4 layers. This is the front of the neck, and we're only going to cut that through the front layer only. This is the front, this fold right here. You can actually finger press that. If you've ever done quilting, there's a method called finger press, and all you do is you press down on it to create a little bit of a crease. It's called finger pressing. And you're going to, let me use this 1 second, and you're going to cut all the way down the middle for the front only on that line that you finger pressed in. So this is what it's going to look like. You cut out through all 4 layers, this section right here. Let me, I'm missing, it's time for me to sharpen, get my scissors sharpened. Or actually time to get some more scissors, because these were fairly inexpensive scissors that I got from Walmart. And now you have something that looks like this. This is the body. And this little bell shape here are going to be some bell-shaped sleeves. We're going to cut this little neck area as close to the fold as you possibly can through all 4. And you're going to open this up. You're going to cut this for the neck. Through the front layer only. you can flip it over and use that as a template to cut the other side of the neck. Let me finger press that again. And I'm going to actually trace over it with my handy dandy marker. Now, if you're doing this at home, do not use a Sharpie to mark your fabric like I'm doing right here. I'm doing that so you guys can see it. And this is for, actually, we're making a faux rabbit fur coat for a rabbit, for a stuffed rabbit. So this is what this is for. So this is for a toy. I'm actually going to use this. This is not just for me to do something. And in that line that we finger pressed in, you can see that. We're going to cut that down the middle to open the jacket up. And this is the lining only. You have to do this with the lining. And you're gonna have something that looks like this. This is the back. This is one sleeve. This is another sleeve. This is the one side of the front and the other side of the front. So when you close it up, there you go. You have your jacket. Now you're gonna cut this one more time for the lining. This is the lining, I'm sorry. And if you notice, if it's important to you and you have a design on your fabric and your lining, I don't know if it's important to you or not. You see how that design automatically lines up? So if you wanted to make this jacket reversible, which you could if you had a reversible zipper, or if you had the way you put your closure on. Actually, I'll show you how to do that on another video. Your designer line up right in the middle. Yeah, I'll show you guys how to do a truly reversible jacket with a reversible zipper on another video. So now what we're going to do is we have the lining cut out. You can actually take this lining, and here's some scrap fur, and you can put it on the fur. Let me see if I don't think I have enough of this scrap fur to make it, let's see, to make it in one piece. No, I don't. I'm gonna have to go get another. I know I have another piece of scrap fur. I might seam this together because it's not really like it matters. It's a toy. But yeah, it does matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and get another piece of scrap fur, and then I'll be another piece of scrap fur to show you how to do that, and I'll be right back. Now we're back. This is actually my lining, and I have it on the wrong side up, pretty side down. See, that's the pretty side, and this is the wrong side. If you were making this for yourself, I would suggest to use kind of like a silky fabric. However, we didn't have any to match the inside of the jacket, so we're using this. This is what I use, a flannel blanket for the lining. I'm sorry, the filler. And the reason why I decided to do the flannel blanket was for two reasons. Number one, I did not know where my walking foot is. And number two, I did not want it to be extremely bulky. However, if you would like to use a low loft batting for the inside, you can do that as well. And now what I just did is I smoothed the filler out on top of the lining so we can sew it together. Now the lining and the filler, we're sewing everything together. We're going to, I guess I'm going to start right here, sew all the way around until I meet right back here again. I want to do that on the lining to the filler only, not to the lining to the fur. And I'm going to pin this up. I'm going to sew it around, and then I'll show you what to do next. This is extremely easy, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm finished with sewing the lining to the shell, And I'm going to show you why we did it with the shell on the inside and the lining facing the shell and the filling on the outside. That is because when we turn it over, it will be the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to show you. One moment, let me get it all the way out. And get this side all the way out. And now you can see this is the lining, and actually I need to give it a light pressing so I can get those seams ironed out and looking all nice. And yeah, that is the inside. And this is the outside. You see how nice that looks? Look at that, guys. Nice jacket. So now all I have to do is sew the sides together, which will be right here. Now when you're working with this fur, when you pin it together, let me zoom in some so you guys can see what I'm talking about. One moment. Okay. When you're working with the fur and you pin it together so you can sew it, you want to make sure all of the fur is toward the inside, like that. It's gonna take a little while to get it in there because I need to do a light pressing first, but I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. This way you won't get a lot of lint in your machine. So you want to make sure that fur is all the way in there like that. So what, actually I'm telling you wrong. That is not gonna look right. Cut. Okay, when you're working with the fur, I zoomed in so you can see what I'm talking about. If you were to be wanting to sew this where the fur was going to be on the inside, you would make sure that all of this fur was in here like this if you were wanting to make sure the fur was on the inside. However, and you want to do this so you won't get a lot of lint in your machine, you would have it push it in there, push it in there, and push it in there until you get something like this, and then your fur will be enclosed within itself and you won't get it in the machine. However, on this I need the fur to be this way. I need the seam to be this way, and I could actually still do that same thing. You know what, I'm gonna actually do that same thing. I'm gonna make sure all the fur is pushed in here. Just, oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Make sure all the fur is pushed in just like this when you make your seam. So when you sew on top, not only will you keep your lint out of your machine, you're going to hide that seam a little bit within the fur. And you'll see and use a lot of pins like I'm telling you. And this is pretty thick. So if you have a walking foot, I would suggest you use your walking foot to sew over this. And go a little bit slow. If you don't have a walking foot, it's fine, you can still do it, but go slow. Don't put your foot on the pedal and just hold it down. But if you can see how that fur is enclosed in there, You see nothing hanging out? Take time to do that. So when you sew your garment together, you won't get a lot of lint in your machine. And when you turn it over this way, and try to do it gently because it's not sewed together yet. I still have it pinned. You see that? That is where the seam would be, right there. And that would be where the seam would be. You can't see anything because all that fur is covering the seam. So it looks a lot more professional when you do it that way. So make sure you get all the hairs toward the fur on the inside. And if you don't get all the hairs toward the fur on the inside, you will be able to see that seam right there, and you don't want it to look like that. It'll look all wonky and things. So what did I just do? Oh, that's not what I intended on doing. Okay, let me go ahead and zoom back out. I have something else I want to show you guys. If I can get this back the way I want it. I want to show you how the loops came out. The loops, I'm going to unpin this so I can show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to put a light pressing on there. I don't want to do a heavy pressing because this is actually faux fur. So I want to do a light pressing so I can even out those seams before I sew it together. You don't have to do that. That's just what I'm going to do because I'm kind of OCD about some things. But this is where the buttons came out. See, because that doesn't want to line up the way I want it to. That is where the buttons will loop over like this. And actually, let me get the buttons out and I'm going to show you what we're using. These buttons are so cute. Let me get them out one moment. I still have them in the bag actually. These are the buttons that I'm going to use. I got them from Walmart. And I'm going to push it closer. So when I put the button on, all I'm going to do is line it up with a little looper. Actually, let me zoom in again for you guys so you can see better, because I don't think you can see the button. There it is. That's the button. These are the buttons we're going to use. You see that? It's kind of out of focus a little bit. Let me pull it back. Those are the buttons we're going to use. Got them from Walmart. They're really cute. And what you do is you line it up with the looper and then you sew the looper on, just like that. And you have to hand sew these because these are buttons with a little stand on the back, so you have to hand sew these. You can't, I don't know of any way to do that with machine. But that is what the completed jacket will look like when I'm done. And I am going to go ahead and make a hat to go with it, which will be it's going to be fur lined on the inside and the outside. And when I make that, I'm going to show you guys on another video. But also let me show you why I made these about an inch longer than the actual lining. Because what I want to do is I want to fold it up like this and fold it up like that. And it makes it a little soft around the edges, you know, when it's up against the waist. And when the cuff is up against the wrist, you know, little kids like that, a little bit of softness. And I'm going to just hand sew that together after I get the jacket completed, and it just makes it look a little special to have that like that, in my personal opinion. So now I'm going to go ahead and complete this project, and in the morning it's actually 11:30 at night here at my house, and I'm still up making videos. So in the morning, Beauty will go ahead and model it for us if we get up in enough time before school. If not, you'll see a picture of it on the table like this. Okay, let me go ahead and finish it and come. Okay, I have finished sewing around here, sewing the arms together. Right there, right there. So now all I have to do is turn it out, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I say, oh, it's a small arm. When I say if you get all the fur pushed this way, you won't be able to see the seam. You see that? That is actually where the seam is. You can't see anything. And when it comes to this, that is actually where the seam is. So if you get that fur pushed all the way like you're supposed, like I showed you, you won't see any of it in the seam. You won't even see the seam at all. And here is the other side. This, that is where the seam is, right there. And here is the seam for the arm. And this one you may be able to see the seam some, because I did get some of the fur caught up inside of the seam. So the moral of the story is not to be filming videos when you're sleepy. But anyway, that's it. Now all I have left to do is to roll this up here once, twice, hand stitch that down. Actually, my battery went off while I was talking in the middle of that, so it's plugged up now. So let me show you what I have to do next. All I have to do now is to hand sew this around here, and then come around here and do the cuff for the sleeve as well. And this is what it will look like when it's finished. And then I have to do the buttons. And once I get all of that done, this is what the jacket will look like. I'll have a button right there, a button right there, a button right there, and a button right there. Now remember, when I made this for Beauty, I actually put a zipper here, and it was a reversible zipper, so she could wear it with the fur out or with the lining out. But I don't have any reversible zippers at the moment, and the person that this is for prefers buttons, so that's what we're gonna do. And we may or may not get a few pictures of Beauty modeling the jacket in the morning. I'm not exactly sure, because sometimes she does not like to get up for school in the morning. But anyway, if we don't get her to do a model of the jacket, this is what it looks like. And as you see, we completed an entire fur jacket. We completed an entire fur jacket with only the measurements. And I was going to put a hood up there, but I changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and make another video to make a fur-lined hat. And that hat is going to go ahead and go with this jacket. And actually, I think I'm going to make the hat with the fur on the inside and the outside. Well, that's it, guys. Let's see what happens in the morning. In case we don't get Beauty to model this jacket for us, all I want to say is, as usual, go ahead, like and subscribe, and put comments in the comment. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment box below. Also, if you would like to check into the description box, there will be a link to the website, which I did a blog entry on this jacket on the website as well. And if you have any questions that cannot be answered from the blog or from the video, go ahead and leave me some comments in the comment section, or you could actually use the contact us form on my website, or you could actually click on one of the links and join the fiber artist group and ask questions there. And as usual, happy sewing. Okay, Beauty, thanks for being our model for today. Can I get a fist bump?
No.
Okay, good.